Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Christopher Chambers, noted author and associate professor of journalism at Georgetown University. We were talking about his forthcoming novel, Yellow Patsy's Boys. So let's take up where we left off. I'll provide a link to part 1 of the interview, and then we'll go from there.
Basically, the book has a dual track plot taking place around 2008 and around 1814. There are the family, basically, of these. We left off talking about President Harding being probably the first.
Right.
I didn't really think about that notion when I was writing it. I was looking at some of the historical, the primary sources about this family, the Townsend family, where one of the sons of this captain, Chesapeake Bay captain, went on to become a lieutenant in the United States Navy during the War of 1812. His brother was farmed out, basically, or rented, basically, to the Jesuits as part of their plantation system in southern Maryland, which funded the construction of Georgetown University. And I've had a lot of heated discussions with Joe O'Donnell, Princeton class of '74, about how I should portray that, who's the provost at Georgetown. Make a long story short, the brother who was raised as a slave actually escaped, became a cartographer for Admiral Sir George Cockburn, or Coburn as the British pronounce it, and General Sir Robert Ross, who invaded the United States, Chesapeake, burned Washington, etc. He was their primary guide and recruited slaves who were freed from surrounding households into what they called the Corps of Colonial Marines. In a sense, they were trained as British Marines, but they were freed slaves, basically fighting Americans. The irony there is that his own brother was part of a contingent of sailors under Joshua Barney, who was probably the only hero of the Battle of Bladensburg, a battle we don't hear about because we lost. The British then went on to succeed in doing what Osama bin Laden could only dream of, which was basically destroy the Capitol building. The two brothers actually fought each other and met each other at Bladensburg. That's what I chronicle in the book. I don't want to give away too much.
No, sure.
We want to make.
We still want people to buy it.
We want people to buy it. We want either Spike Lee or Clint Eastwood to option it. I don't care. I'm not taking sides. It's I'm proud of it. It took a lot of research, and it was I think it's an interesting exercise in unity. If I could talk about hope. Yeah. The audacity of hope.
No, it sounds like you can get some timing out of it.
Yes, it is, because I had to explore diverse sources as primary source material from African American colleges like Howard, talking to history professors who are very Afrocentric, very left wing, and then I had to kind of marry them with people at the Naval Research Center. Down at the Washington Navy Yard, which is an incredible storehouse of information. And just seeing how you can, those things that you think are utterly disparate, you can just weave them together. And
sure.
It'd be nice if we could all live in that kind of harmony.
Yeah,
because we're all, the theme is that we're all Americans, and it's, despite the, glaring, gulfs. I mean, the gulfs are maybe as deep as the Grand Canyon, but when you look at them, they're only a couple of inches wide.
Well, let's talk about. Let's bring it to the present a little bit. Do you think that did the election of Barack Obama alter to some degree, or to any degree, your perception of the United States?
Yes and no. I mean, it's. I think that some of the. On a global spiritual level, yes. I don't think anyone could deny that. I mean, I think unless you're, a total unrepentant right-wing tool, I think anybody short of that probably was transformed in some way.
Yeah, a lot of our, even a lot of our unrepentant right-wing readers have admitted that.
Right, and it was almost an affirmation that America is colorblind and America has moved on. But at the same time, I mean, there was this undercurrent of people would disagree, but there seemed to me this. We always have that gremlin of double standards. Now, conservatives might say double standards might work a certain way, and we might say double standards, but they're always there. There just seems to be just something off. The way he had to comport himself at times, where among African Americans, we really wish that he would have fought back, not against Hillary, against McCain, just with a little bit more vehemence.
But let's go with that though. Is that any different than the wish that partisans have for their own candidates to fight back with more zeal? I mean, it was a chronic frustration of conservatives during this campaign that John McCain left plenty of charges unanswered. And is that really anything more than that? Just sharpened perhaps by shared ethnicity? No,
I think when it's almost the only analogy I can bring to bear is there are some things that women know that we men don't know, or that wives know. My wife is sitting over there. You can't see her on the camera. That wives know.
She's looking on with a mixture of admiration and
fear. That wives know and that we husbands don't know, and it's almost that kind of nod moment where it's almost kind of there is that shared that kind of consanguinity, that almost that it's kind of the ESP that you have of being part of some group where that there's something off here, there's something wrong. We can't really come out and say it because we'll be blamed for being too vehement or too radical or this, or we just might sound like we're complaining, but we know the score, and it's an internal kind of, it's almost a family.
Well, but how did that translate in this current election? I mean, recognizing you may not want to, tell me or your friend of 25 years, white as I am, well, how would you, nevertheless, I mean, how did that reveal itself in this election campaign?
I think for me, it had nothing to do with the Reverend Wright stuff. I mean, it wasn't any big deal to me. I mean, there are plenty of preachers, black and white, right wing and left wing,
who don't know what happened on December 7th.
Right. And, well, I mean, I use that. I look at him, and then I look at the church that Barat went to in the Barat movie, and I just see them as just bookends. So I didn't really care about, he went to some right-wing evangelical church in Texas.